Welcome, everyone. We have a very special guest today. But before I get into the guest, we are going to be talking about a major topic that is literally buzzing on every platform that I go on, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. There's so much more that I could name, but I'm sure wherever you're finding this video is exactly where it needs to be landed for you, because if you're looking at the title, we are talking about the inner child. And to get straight to it, there is this time period in my life where I decided to create on my own a 40-day inner child journey. And how I can honestly say that over the years, I have been curating different classes that I went to and different information that I've received to know how to do the inner child work. But the thing that I find people are struggling with by just looking at these TikTok videos is like understanding when to do inner child work and why to do inner child work. And you see, what started for me when I created this method, and again, it's a combination of like over a decade of practice, right? Of different techniques, variations. But what got me started is I actually did this 14-day experiment asking the universe to send back all the pieces of my energy that belonged to me, who was in someone else or from someone else, someone else was holding onto me, to come back into my energy field, because I wanted to feel whole again. And I wanted to really just make sure that I could be me. But little did I know that while this experiment was happening, I started to have these really big pains in my physical body, my mental state, my emotional state, where eventually it led down to an inner child path, because there is strange phenomenons happening that even a doctor couldn't explain what was going on with my heart and my chest. So I decided to launch it to my Patreon. And you know what? I am going to share the screen here just so then all of you can kind of see a little sneak peek of what this post looked like, because we have the special guest, Little Kitty Red, with us, who is a singer, songwriter, artist, and all the amazing things above, who is just the most fabulous, positive artist I have ever met out there, who just keeps going. And I want to ask her so many questions, so then you can also hear real life information for what this is like, and not just from me, from someone who created it and curated it. So let's share the screen here for just showing you a little bit of the Patreon. Okay, so now we have this screen share up. And what I really want to show you is that on the Patreon, we have this collection tab. So that's where anyone can go here and find posts easily, right? And I label them where you can start here. But what we're looking for is the one labeled inner child work. So we're going to go here. And there's all different posts about inner child and why it's important, just for information for people. But here is a little sneak preview of the 40-day inner child how-to that all Patreon members get to receive. And it's just, it's really empowering. And so it combines all different techniques between breath work, Kundalini meditations, journaling, and even just integration with yourself, so then you can really embody emotions. So here with us today is Little Kitty Red, and I really want to ask you, Little Kitty Red, here, just at what point when you saw this post did you decide okay, this is for me? Like, how did you know that inner child work was for you at what stage you were at in your life?
Um, well, so I was visiting your Patreon, and it was like the first time that I got a chance to really scroll through it and found the time. I felt like it was the perfect time for me to tune in, and I just was listening to your voice clip that you have on there about inner child healing, and it like made me tear up, and I was like, you know what? I'm in a place where I got to do this now because I have had inner child issues very forever, very deeply. So it's been pretty obvious, and it's been obvious in my life and how things have. I just think it's something I've known I had to address something within myself based on repeating patterns and things like that. And I was just in a space where I felt like I was ready for it. I was like, I have to do this now because I was putting it off, I knew I had to do some sort of inner child healing, didn't know how, didn't know how it would work or what route I would take. But the route that you laid out, the formula you laid out seemed so like, I like that. Like it resonated with me. And as an artist, it's like creative to me. Like that was like very artistic how you created that. And yeah, so it just seems like doable for me. So I'm really glad that it happened that way.
Oh,
Really,
that's,
yeah.
yeah. Wow, that's it's incredible to hear that you can recognize, you said it yourself, that you can recognize repeating patterns in you.
Yeah.
And then because these repeating patterns were happening, that was putting you off on certain healing paths. And
Mm.
so even as an artist, you know, what ways were you able to get creative with the 40-day inner child journey? Because I
Mm.
know on the post I put that it's designed in a way that anyone can do this with life showing up, and to take these methods and to make it better and to integrate into their own daily routine. So in what
Mhm.
ways were you able to like take this but also still have your own life and your own routine while being creative with the process?
Yeah, well, like you suggested, to choose a time period to aim for each day, and it made sense to me to, do it at night. And sometimes I did it in the morning, and I just kind of followed my intuition as I went. So I always knew that there was like a time where I would just get it done. But I found in that time, like, journaling with the left and the right hand, and the left and right hemisphere. It really intrigued me because I've always known, I've heard like long ago that left hand, writing with your left hand, brings out your creativity and your inner child. I've heard that before. And when you laid out this formula like that, I was like, that makes so much sense just to talk back and forth, like between your inner child and your adult self. And it's just when I did that, I literally had visions. I had like the most beautiful visions that came through, and clarity, and like things that just I immediately with the first time that I did it, I was like, yes, I need to do this. I need to do this because it felt so refreshing, and I felt so empowered at the end of it. And then like as every day went on, it was just like I felt like it integrating into my life as I'd walk out the doors, and I'd feel like more like safe within my body because like my inner child felt safe. Like I was talking to this inner child energy, and it's very real. I've always believed it's very real. And the purity of your soul, it's very important to talk to and get to know. Because
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. The getting to know the purity of your soul is kind of, I feel like, a lot of people's mission, even without realizing it. Getting to know
Yeah.
who you are at a
Yeah.
core, right? Just so then, I mean, in my opinion, so then people can be the first rate version of themselves versus a second rate version of someone else, of perceived notations of who they think they should be because of a way they were brought up or someone else's opinions that they didn't even realize are still affecting them.
Mm. Yep, exactly. Like, yep, exactly. And
Yeah.
it was, yeah, just life changing. So there's so much I could say about it. I I'm allowing you to guide the conversation and all because I know. Yeah, but I just there's a lot. It changed my life. So yeah.
That's what do you so with life changes, where do you feel like what changed the most in you, and what was one of the biggest struggles that you had to face throughout the 40-day?
What changed? Okay, so what changed the most for me? Okay, immediately I noticed I was able to think clearer. Like, normally throughout my life, I've gone through just being really scatterbrained and like, like in general, like where it's just like, oh, I know, like I just like kind of like adjusted to it. It's just like something I always thought like I'm just kind of, whatever, forgetful. I make a lot of mistakes, things like that at my job and whatnot, and da 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 da. Da. But then like after doing it once, I noticed like even like the first day, like things were just clearer. Like I've just been more focused, been able to focus and I've had people even point out to me throughout the 40-day thing that I didn't tell anybody what I was doing, but behind the scenes, but people would be like, you seem like you're doing better, you're doing better, things like that. And so that was really good. And the struggles I'd had were more like um and more like internal, like towards the end of it, like more towards like 30 days I started to like my deepest, darkest triggers came up, and it's just something that have happened throughout my life. But this time it was like I had this connection with the purity of my soul in a different way, and the connection with my inner child, I feel like brought me home like really quick, really quick.
Oh,
Yeah, very quick, quicker than ever. And now I haven't
yeah.
gone. Things have been very smooth since then. In that aspect of my life with like this certain deep shadow part of myself that you know that
Wow.
mm,
So what's really great is that it sounds like, based on what you're saying, that you received a lot of clear, like being more clear, you received a lot more focus. And what's interesting is that a big thing that I put as a non-negotiable that I considered a non-negotiable in the process was to have accountability and to tell someone what you were doing, someone who was close to you. But you just said that, in your own creative way, you didn't really tell people what you were doing, but you were still receiving the validation that you seemed better, that something was changing in you, that whether you were a little bit lighter, that you were more focused, that you seemed more clear, or whatever that validation was. And I think that is incredible. And that allowed you to be your own creative within the process of what I considered non-negotiable. But you're like, no, I don't have to do that.
yeah, yeah. In general, that's kind of how yeah, I didn't really, I guess I guess I didn't really feel like telling anyone in my life at the time, because I like to just kind of keep things, like have my own experience with it. But yeah, it was magical, very magical experience.
Mm. And at the end, you mentioned that you felt like you were able to bring yourself back home in quicker steps. And
Mm.
so, would you even even now today, and you're still encountering anything that would be considered inner child work, or even you mentioned shadow. Is shadow work and inner child work similar to you? I want to start there first.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting question. So I would say very similar because I feel like a lot of my shadows come from my inner child just being really feeling unsafe and feeling like she needs something really intensely. And if I don't listen to it, then my shadow comes out, or, you know, um, it makes my, myself feel even more unsafe. So it's really interesting. It's like, I feel like my shadows have, I mean, naturally shadows are going to be there and there's always going to be that, but I have now, um, I've made my inner child feel safe and a connection with her. So like, I come home faster. I come home faster. Yeah, I do. I come home faster.
Wow.
So that's true. That's a good question though, because it really is connected.
I believe it's connected to. I'm with
Yeah,
you 100% on that.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because the when you're experiencing something that triggers you from whatever, how big or how small that is, there's always something that could be related from a younger version of yourself. And so sometimes people don't like the phrase inner child, but the reality is that if you're triggered by something, it's a younger version of yourself. So you could always say that if people don't like the label
Yes.
child, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
shadows come out all the time, right? Even after the work. I know for me, while doing the 40-day inner child work, I personally had the accountability. I told my husband what I was doing. And there was days where he would be like, what age are we dealing with today? Because every day I would like jump back to a different age and I would find out through the journaling technique and then doing the clearing and then doing the integration process for that version of myself, that age, that that period of life that I was in, that I was trying to heal, that I didn't realize that was even an issue still. And so some days I was 16, some days I was 15, some days I was 5, right? And finding those ways to make sure that I had the accountability, because living with someone, I was living with someone, my husband, of course, and just making sure that he knew what I was doing was really important to me. And just so then he didn't think I was going crazy, right?
Yeah, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure.
So while doing this inner child work, did you put anything on hold for creating your next music, your next music videos, or did you just keep pushing through?
Oh, I just kept pushing through. I actually feel like I like got a lot of stronger creativity that came through, So yeah, I definitely kept pushing through, and yeah.
Oh, that's so good to hear.
Yeah.
Now, did you do more than 40 days?
Mm, I did 40 days and that was it. But I I did come back one other time when I felt, you know, a certain way. One day I was like, what's wrong? Like I need to sit down and talk with myself, get back home to myself. So I did the journaling with my inner child again, but I do um the ego eradicator and the arc line clearing quite often still, like very much
Oh,
so part
good.
of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. They're powerful techniques.
Yeah. Yep, it's
So,
super powerful.
yes. Oh,
Mhm.
amazing.
I
So,
really
would you
appreciate you, though. Thank you so
oh,
much.
I appreciate you being open and willing to even try this process
Mhm.
that is out there for all Patreon members or even anyone who joins as a free member. I
Mhm.
mean, there's people out there who are selling courses for the same type of inner healing and experience for thousands of dollars, and people can just get it for $11. Like, it's so,
Right.
like, the importance of maintenance is key to me through subtle body energy, because preventative care through subtle body energy is one of my things. Because if you can't find time to maintain who you are at a core, or know what to do to find who you are at a core, then you may be spending a lot of money elsewhere that may be unnecessary. I know I've done that, but also maybe it wasn't unnecessary because it got me to where I am today. But I want things to be cost efficient because we know how the world is going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
It is
So,
very, very affordable, and thank you.
oh, thank you. So, is there anything else that you would like people to know about your process, your journey on the 40
Mm.
inner day child work, or anything in general?
Yeah. Well, I'd say I've always believed so much that well, as far as like love relationships go, I've always believed that when you find love in yourself, that's when you'll find a true love. And like um I feel like it was pretty clear that even like literally right after I got done with my 40-day, it's crazy because that's I feel like I have entered a healthy relationship in my life. I haven't dated
Oh,
in over a year, you know. So yeah, I finally
oh,
like energetically was like able to accept like real respect and things from a person that I'm not normally with someone like this. So it's pretty amazing in that aspect. And then also like with my career, which is like to me, like that's also just like so important in my life, my music. It's like my love with myself, my music, that's my baby. And then like I've been in the space of like I'm not gonna accept anything less than what I what I know I'm worth now in love. And I just feel like it is a total upgrade, and love, career, you know, self-love, everything has just upgraded. And I've been a lot stronger and clearer on every aspect of my life. Really.
wow. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, it
Yeah.
sounds like you
Yeah.
did so much
Me
work.
too.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. You did so much internal work, so much inner child work that you cultivated this amazing self-love, self-respect, and self-like resilience that you manifested a partner that wasn't even necessarily on the forefront of your idea after doing this healing. Oh my
Mm,
goodness.
exactly. Yeah. It was quite surprising. So
Wow. That is freaking incredible. Wow, I'm blown away.
me too. Yeah.
Blown away. Wow. Okay.
Mm.
So, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for sharing this. It's incredible. It makes me really excited about your journey. I just have one last question is can you just sing us a little tune? Anything that your spirit wants to
Hey.
sing right now? Yeah, and tell us how we
Yep.
can connect with you more.
All right. So, oh, oh, my heart was surely breaking. Oh, oh, your messages were faking. Oh, oh, thought I would never make it. Well, here I am now. Oh, say something more to me. I know you can. I know you can see that. Oh, I've been working on my life. I came so far from the darkest night. Now under this moonlight, I love the happy tears I cry. I feel you now, pushing on my ways. No, you don't hesitate. Now that you see me moving on, where you see me there crying on my knees. Oh, how I watched you leave. Now you can watch me as I soar. And
Ooh, eh, so healing. Yeah, all
thank
of your music
you.
that I've ever heard is real, raw material of like true, true healing.
Thank you. Yes, that one definitely is the theme song. And let's say something more. Yeah, you can find me everywhere on all major platforms, all major music platforms, all social media under Lil Kitty Red. That's Lil Kitty Red. So check me out.
Excellent.
Check me
Yes.
out.
And we have all the links down for you in the comments as well. So then you can find Little Kitty Red easy and just at right at your fingertips. And be sure to follow and subscribe to her page because this chick is freaking amazing and she's doing the work, which is what it's all about. Preventative care through subtle body energy. Thank you so much for tuning into this interview with Little Kitty Red, and I wish you the best day.
Thank you so much.